the radar.
And we'll start with, I can't believe it's an off-the-radar game now, but they're not ranked anymore for the first time since 2017. That, of course, being the mighty Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, Matt. They're taking on Cal. Green jerseys with names on the back, which is an interesting little wrinkle. It's been kind of a come-to-Jesus type of weekend. Tyler Buckner lost for the year with a shoulder injury, meaning Drew Pine will get the start. Tommy Rees and Al Golden, the coordinators, both spoke to the media this week, trying to say it's not, panic time. I'm not going to lay the 11 with Notre Dame here, but I do have a play on this game. I expect, and maybe I'm the biggest idiot ever, which is very possible, that Cal's going to get shut down by Notre Dame defensively. I think this team is pissed off, an opportunity at home, and I think the Notre Dame defense, more so than anything, Matt, has to look back at the game tape against Marshall and want to vomit all over itself. Missed tackles, misread, read options. And it's not like Cal is anything to write home about when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. So at DraftKings right now, team total for Cal is 14.5. I took the under. Yeah. It's a risky play because, a pick six or a fumble by Notre Dame gives Cal good field position. So you're working with a small margin there, but I expect Notre Dame to really kind of bog them down. You look back at the Cal UNLV game. I mean, Cal had to hold on for dear life in that game. Yeah. Cal, I think, had 36 yards on the last 4 drives. First game of the year against UC Davis, they had -1 yard in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. Jack Plummer is a guy that Notre Dame knows from his time at Purdue. So I expect Notre Dame to win this game ugly, like 17-12, somewhere in that ballpark. But I think they win defensively. I'll take the team total under for Cal in this one, 14.5.
If it finishes 17-12, I'll buy you dinner at Barry's.
And y'all need eyeball replacements because I'll gouge them out on Saturday afternoon.
That would be a hell of a call. 17-12.
17-12. Notre Dame over Cal. No, thank you.
I think to 12 might be right. Actually, I'd kind of be surprised if Cal even gets to double digits in this game. Jack Plummer quarterbacked a much better Purdue offense in South Bend last year and lost that game 27-13. He got benched after that game. This Cal offense is pretty poor, and I think you're right about Notre Dame being a highly motivated defense, just a highly motivated team in general. Much stronger on the offensive and defensive lines. I think we'll control this game. It's not one of my best bets, but if I'm going to play it, I'm going to play the Irish, and I would look under the total. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game where I'm not sure Cal gets to 10 points.
One game that has become more intriguing because of the way Syracuse has started the year. Purdue is a team you know well, obviously. Syracuse has gotten off to a 2-0 start. Very impressive week 1 against Louisville. Looks even better that Louisville went down to UCF and won last Friday night. They go to UConn, take care of business, win and cover. Syracuse laying a point against Purdue, Matt.
I bet Syracuse at the opener here at circa +3.
Wow.
I was surprised Purdue opened as a 3-point road favorite. I actually made Purdue a 1-point road favorite here, so it's not a big difference. But anytime I can get a home dog with a full field goal on the opener, I'm going to take it. Garrett Schrader, 79% completion so far. Syracuse has outscored Louisville and UConn 79-21. I think it's been a pretty impressive showing so far for Dino Babers' team. It's not one of my best bets, Tim. Like I said, I've got first class and coach plays. This is a coach play this week, but I would still recommend Syracuse here at round at a pick 'em. I do think this is a coin flip type of game. One thing about Jeff Brom and the Boilermakers, they tend to play pretty well on the road, and the dog roll especially. So I wouldn't get carried away with the number here, but I think this is another one of those kind of like the Oregon State-Fresno game we watched Saturday, a coin flip type of game that's going to come down to the last, probably to the last few minutes.
Tucker's going to score a touchdown with no time to go, except to give you a win this one. Robert Anye is the offensive coordinator, came from Virginia when Bronco Mendenhall retired. That was a big hire by Dino Babers. Another play that I have, and maybe I got the worst of the number, we'll see. I took the points in a situational spot with Tulane. Tulane, I took the 14.5. It's down to 14 now. Open 20 here at Circa. We don't know much about Tulane. Their 2 wins against UMass and Alcorn State. They've outscored them 94-10. They brought back 18 starters, added Lawrence Keys, transfer from Notre Dame who's already caught a touchdown. Michael Pratt is back as their quarterback, an athletic quarterback. Tajay Spears, their running back, is back. They bring back pretty much everything from last year's team that went 2-10. I will point that out. It's not like they were a great team last year. Look, Deuce Vaughn's tremendous, and he could be the reason I lose this bet. 145 yards on the ground last week against Missouri as they won by 4 touchdowns. But I do think it's a little bit of a letdown look ahead, sandwich here. Next week, Kansas State goes on the road to Norman. They just beat Missouri at home by 4 touchdowns. Now, you could roll your eyes and say, well, it's Missouri. Still an SEC team, old Big 12 rival, and they mopped the floor with Missouri. And now you're playing Tulane. I know they've gotten buzz from the helmets that they're wearing with the goofy guy on the side of the helmet. I just think it's a tricky spot. Was happy to get 14.5, would still play it at 14. So that's the way I'll roll. New offensive coordinator, Jim Svoboda coming in, taking over for Chip Long, who had worn out his welcome there in Tulane. I'm a Willie Fritz guy, too, a big believer in that. So I'll take the green wave here, catching 14 at the Little Apple, and maybe a little sleepy spot for K-State.
Yeah, I love this K-State team. And Chris Kleiman's got to be high on the list of possible coaching replacements at Nebraska. But this K-State team has got the potential to win the Big 12. But you're right, this is not a great spot for the Wildcats. And Tulane, even though you said the Green Wave went 2-10 last season, don't forget Tulane was a 31-point dog at Oklahoma in last year's season opener and lost that game by 5.
Yep.
40-35.
Covered against Cincinnati, too.
Yep. 17 starters back from that team. So I like your play here.
All right. And just rifling through, I'll give you one more play here in just a moment. SMU Maryland, that's a play that Adam Burke has given out on vsin.com, and we'll give it on here on this. He likes the Terps in this spot. He thinks it's a little bit of a letdown spot for SMU as they're looking ahead maybe to that revenge game against TCU and the battle for the Iron Skillet next weekend down there in Dallas. Kansas at Houston now has become an interesting game. Houston at home coming off their loss. Kansas, very impressive. My bet regret from last week, not officially giving out Kansas plus the 13. Why any Power 5 team will schedule North Dakota State is beyond me. North Dakota State goes to Arizona. North Dakota State, if you're wondering, has won 6 consecutive games over FBS opponents. And our friends over at WinBet, Motoy Pearson and Matt Lindemann, opened North Dakota State as a 1-point favorite in this game.
Well, there was
Arizona.
there was a spot or two, I want to say about a month or two ago, where North Dakota State was a 6-point favorite.
Woo.
I think one book even had 6 or 7. Obviously, Arizona is a little bit better than we thought in the preseason, even though Jaden DeLora had a really poor performance last week against Mississippi State, the quarterback. I think you got to lean North Dakota State in this game, and I agree with what you said. Why would you even schedule this game if you're Arizona?
It's the last time they played
LSU was playing Southern last week, and then you're taking on the best of the FBS or FCS teams in North Dakota State. Why would you do this?
Speaking of that, last game I want to mention, the last play I have before we give you our best bets recap. Oregon State, we both like Oregon State. I know you're still mad about Jonathan Smith and company winning that game.
Yeah, I have not cooled off in the last 10 minutes, right?
Well, hopefully this will make you happier. They are 2-0. They beat Boise very impressively as a 3-point favorite. Actually closed 1.5. And then, of course, they beat Fresno State. Next week, coming to Corvallis, is USC.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, Montana State. And it's not in Corvallis. This is the wrinkle I think people are overlooking. This is a neutral site game in Portland, Oregon, at the Portland Timbers Stadium. Why this game is on the schedule, I don't know. Montana State, if you're wondering, we mentioned North Dakota State. They lost to North Dakota State in the national championship last year. This is a team that can play. My biggest concern, though, is that Montana State has been ravaged with injuries. Their leading rusher, Isaiah Ifansi, he is out for a little bit. He was injured in preseason. Their top 4 running backs are all banged up. But Oregon State's without their top playmaker, in my opinion. Luke Musgrave, their big tight end, who's got 11 catches and 169 receiving yards and a touchdown already this year, Matt. He's out for this game. Might be out for quite some time there for Oregon State. So, the line as of now is not out. Anything north of 14, I'm taking Montana State. I think it is a horrible spot for Oregon State.
Yeah, especially with USC on deck. And I like this Oregon State team a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But you got to be looking ahead. You have to have one eye on USC next week, right?
Yeah, so for Montana State to go to a neutral site, I think this is a tricky spot for the Beavers.